Something changed with the lives on YouTube. Anyways, hello, good morning. I've been trying to figure out something changed like on the I don't know, something changed on the way that you can do lives, and I can only get it to do vertical, which it's fine. I hate it though, actually, so it's annoying. But also there's a lot of other like settings that changed, and I tried figuring that out, so I hope everything's fine. Yeah, so if you say, hi, Madeline, oh, I was gonna message you, but anyways, you're here. Trying to figure out the live, like the whole setup's different. And so I guess I need to talk to a few other friends that do lives and see if it changed for them too. But good morning, I'm here. Yeah, I wasted too much time trying to figure out how to make it horizontal instead of vertical. It just doesn't really, I just don't like it. Anyways, but hello. So my kids are coming home today, and I'm supposed to have my son's journal done. He asked if I could help him make a journal. It's gonna be like a spell book, or like, I don't know, like a Harry Potter style journal. So he just wanted a red sparkly cover, which you can't really tell, but it's sparkly. He just wanted really basic, and then he did some kind of writing on here. I don't know what that is. He's 11. But either way, I need to sew the pages in here, so I thought I would just come on. It might take me longer than I expect, but we're gonna try. So when I get to the sewing part, I will switch you guys around, but I thought I would just chat with you here. I have 25 pages of coffee dyed paper that he made, and I need to cut these all down. And anyways, he coffee dyed these on cardstock, and I usually do copy paper, so I'm gonna have to figure out like how many pages I can put into each signature and all of that. But yeah, good morning, hello. I got so much filming done for this journal series, mass making journal pages. I got so much done over the weekend, so I'm excited for that. I'm looking for my ruler. I guess I'll use this one, but I don't like that one. So I'm excited. The editing's probably going to take me forever, but hopefully I can get that up and running for you guys soon. I'm going to see what size his journal cover is so I know how much to cut these down. So probably 4.5 times 2. Is that 9? Yeah, 9. So I need to cut it down 9 inches. 9 by 7 3/4. Okay. So I'm going to try to get through this part as quickly as I can, because I'm just going to be trimming paper, so that's not going to be too fun. But I'm going to keep all of these coffee dyed scraps because I just cut down a lot of other coffee dyed pages, and I want to do some kind of project with coffee dyed paper scraps. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. I mean, I know you can collage with them and like use them for, you know, different like snippets and things like that, but I wanted to do something really cool with them. There must be something out there. So anyways, hi Leanne, and hi Rosa and Clara and Steve and Dale. I'm glad that you caught me live too. Hi Tammy and Diana, Helma and Megan and Madeline. Hello. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I had the best Saturday of my life. It was so much fun. Went to my sister's house, and I mean, if you're on my Facebook, then you probably saw some of my pictures, but if you guys watched the Super Bowl, the halftime Rihanna dance, the backup dancers, I just felt like it was the weirdest dance ever. So me and my sister, we recreated it, and there's this one part, I wish I could just show you right now. There's this one part where they do like a flip, and my sister was insisting that we do this flip, but like obviously I can't barely even do a cartwheel, so it was the funniest thing, and I thought she was gonna drop me on my head, and we recorded it, so I have a video of it, and I cannot stop watching the video and just laughing way too hard because it's the funniest thing ever. She's sorry. She goes, we got it. She goes, I'm just anyways, I think you had to be there. No, she didn't say we got it. I don't know. She just kept wanting to. She was insisting on picking me up, and I was just like, this is not gonna work, dude. And she was just insisting that it was gonna work, and she just went ahead and picked me up and like started flipping me, and anyways, that was just super fun. Yeah, and then yesterday I just worked on the journal collection that I'm working on. I wish there was a way for me to play a video, just because I need to show you guys. Now that I told you about it, like I need to show it to you. There must be a way. Let's see. Probably not a way though. Save, highlight, share, new. And Leanne, you've been busy making greeting cards for a local shop and also for Parcel Express. That's awesome. Dang, how'd you get into that? That's super cool. Congrats on that. Man, my stomach hurts from laughing so much over the weekend. Literally, like, can't believe it. But I do miss my kids, and I'm excited that they're coming home today. Okay, I almost got these cut down, and then we can get to sewing these pages in. Someone commented on one of my videos that they don't enjoy my videos anymore because of my tattoo and my dark nail polish. So I'm very sorry if that's distracting anybody. I'm also thinking about how I'm going to sew these in. I think I'm going to do the easiest way possible and just do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. That's usually what I do. I could do something different, but I'm not sure. Let me think about that for a minute. Because I didn't ask him if he wanted... I didn't ask my son if he minds that the stitching would show on the outside of the journal, because that's normally how I would do it, where you can see it, but that's okay. I don't think he cares that much. Let's see here. Jaded Kimmy. Hi. I am glad that you caught my live too. Not distracting at all. Thanks. Megan, you saw that comment. I mean, I replied, I think I was pretty nice, so I don't know if you saw my reply, but I was like, oh, I was kind of joking, but I mean, they might have just had a bad day, but that's still a weird thing to say. Like, I feel like if you had a bad day and you were going to comment something negative, it would be, I don't know. So I just said, what color would you prefer my nails be? Because my videos are still the same, you know what I mean? People shouldn't focus on the outside of people, but take time to discover the inside. I agree. And hello to Cleveland, Ohio. My brother is a professional hairstylist and makeup artist for the celebrities, and he and a friend mentioned me to them. Holy moly, that's so cool, Leanne. That is so cool. Hi, Linda. How are you? Okay. Now I can't stop thinking about my sister and me trying to do this flip. Did you guys see that halftime dance, though? It was just so weird. I thought. Hi, Eva. Hopefully I said it right, Eva. Okay, I am almost done cutting down coffee dyed pages if you're just hopping on, and I'm going to sew these into a journal cover. It's a journal that my son asked me to make, and he has helped with most of the process. He actually did help me with the cover as well. He wanted to see like how I did it, and I did use I believe I used like a pasta box or a cracker box, just like I do a lot of the times, and then I just simply wrapped around cardstock. And then, like I said, he did the writing on here, which I don't know what it means, but it's supposed to be a spell book, which is kind of cute. Diane, you don't watch football, so I'll have to go look for it. Yeah, I don't either, actually. And I didn't even watch. I just heard about it, and I looked it up. I just mostly wanted to see what the dance was all about, why people were talking about it. So yeah, if you look it up, just imagine me and my sister recreating the dance in a really awful way. Like, we did really horrible, but we were laughing so hard. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is start folding all of these pages in half, and then I'm going to flip you guys around in a second here. Maybe I should just flip you around now. Let me make sure I actually cut these down to the right size. Yes, I did. There's been times when I thought I got the measurements right, and then I cut everything down, you know. I'm sure you guys maybe have done this too. And then I go to put it in the journal cover. I'm like, oh, these pages are a little too big still. Then you have to trim them down again. Or if you get them too small, that's not the biggest deal because at least they fit in the cover, but you know, still annoying. Okay, so I'll go ahead and flip you guys around now. It's a bummer that this has to be vertical because it just doesn't work the best, but it's okay. And I'll turn the light on a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to flip you guys around. Okay, this transition's getting a little bit better since I've been doing lives. Turn on the lights. That should be good. But see, yeah, it's just this view doesn't really, it's just not the best. You're so struggling with sewing signatures into the cover. Well, we'll work on it today, and hopefully I can give you some tips or tricks. I'm curious, what part are you struggling with? I mean, it took me a long time to get it down, so. This cardstock also is, like I said, it's so thick. Aligning, okay. Well, I do things very simple. I don't know how long you've been on my channel, but I do things very, very simple to where you can't really mess them up. Well, that's a lie. I guess you can, but what I'm trying to say is if you did mess them up, it's not really that big of a deal. So I'll show you how I do it easily. I think that's what I'm going to do because I was deciding on how I wanted to sew these into the journal cover, but I think I'm just going to do the most simple way that I normally would do. Sometimes it's fun to do like a fancy kind of binding, but for today I think I'll just work on simple, especially since I'm doing it on a live, because it is actually it's quite a bit harder for me to do this on camera, but it's okay. I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to fit all of these pages in here, but we'll see. So just folding them all in half, one by one. Oops. did that one a little crooked, but that's okay. Oh yeah, if you're a Patreon member, I also filmed an extra video for you today, or not today. I filmed an extra journal layout video for you that I'll be posting this week. Hi! To France. Oh wait, I think that's what yours. But the annoying thing about this extra Patreon video, when I was setting up my camera, I accidentally pressed record. So when I went to record my layout, I pressed record again, which stopped it. Oh my gosh. And so for the first 5 minutes, I wasn't filming and I couldn't redo the layout, you know. So instead, I turned the video into a layout share. And then I did a journal flip and just kind of chatted. But, oh my gosh, it was so annoying. I did film like 5 videos this week, so if I can get to editing, I'll actually have some videos up for you guys other than lives. Okay, almost done folding. Are you guys, if you work, do you have the day off today? My kids don't have school, so I figured lots of people are probably home. Okay, so now we've got all of our pages folded, and now I'm going to make the signatures, and I don't know how many I'm going to make, but he wants all of these pages in here. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit them all, but I'm going to try. Hi, Linda, you have the day off. I need some lotion because my hands now are getting very dry. Well, good. I'm glad you guys I'm glad a lot of people get an extra day off. Okay. I think I'm only going to be able to fit 3 pages in here. So if you are new to binding, that's one thing to keep in mind. If you're using thicker paper, the more you fit into a signature, the harder it's going to be first to sew them in nicely, but also like you're going to start getting some pages that are going to be like longer than others because that's just how it goes. That doesn't bother me. To me, I don't care about having a super nice like edge, but that does bother a lot of people I know. So let's see, if I were going to do 3 in each signature, I think that's going to give us way too many signatures, but let's just see. Maybe I could do 4, and then I think that would give us, and I just wing this, if you're wondering. I don't, I don't have a plan. He's just going to be using this for writing. Otherwise, I would probably tell him this is going to be too many pages for a journal. Hi to Holland. Yeah, if I were making this a junk journal and I knew like pictures and journaling cards and like dimensional things were going in it, yeah, I would definitely say this was going to be too many pages because there would be no room for any dimensional things added, if that makes sense. But since he's just using it for writing and drawing, it should be okay. Because he wanted 50 pages, so we did 25. Wait, no, that's not right. He wanted, I can't remember. He wanted like 100 pages in it. And I was like, buddy, that's too much. I was like, that's not how these kind of journals work. So he's like, okay, can we do 25 full pages and fold them down? And I said, yeah, I think so. But I think I'm going to have to leave out like 3 of them. But that's fine. This is plenty of pages. I don't think he knew that it was going to be this many. So I think, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I'm going to put it in the cover now and kind of see what that looks like. This is going to be nice actually because it's like nice and full. And I know he wants some kind of a tie to close this, but I'll let him decide when he gets home. I think that's gonna be good. Yeah. I don't think he cares about it shutting or staying like shut or anything, but okay, so I think we're gonna go with that. Maybe I could add one more. 7. But I think it's just gonna be too much. And then I'm just gonna open it and kind of see what I think. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Okay. I'm gonna set my extra one to the side so I don't get confused about that. Now I need a piece of paper to draw up a little guide for binding. And I'm just looking. Okay, so set these to the side now. So now what I'm going to do is cut a piece of paper that's the exact size of the spine, or a teeny bit smaller. I like to use graph paper for this part because it just helps you get a more precise measurement happening. Trim that down just a little bit more. Now I need a pen. Okay, should I bring you guys in a little bit? The problem is I move around quite a bit. I'm gonna put a T for the top because this is where, if you don't do this, it can really mess things up. Or you can just write top, whatever. Okay, I don't need the cover anymore now. Now I'm gonna take my template here for where I'm gonna be punching the holes, and I like to fold it in half like this, just to show me where the halfway mark is. So I know that this is the middle. And then I'm gonna fold it the other way so that I know where the middle is vertically. And I just use that as my guide to evenly space out the binding holes, if that makes sense. So we have 6 signatures, so I want to evenly space out 3 on this side and then 3 on the other side. And I always start with the middle here. And I just eyeball this, but you can use the graph here to, not the graph, but yeah, you can use these lines to help you evenly space it perfectly, but I personally just eyeball this part. It's fine, everything's fine. So we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have, there we go. So that's gonna be our middle hole. And then from here, I like to go almost to the top, and I'm gonna do the same thing. See, I'm using these lines to help me see where the binding holes will be. When I first started doing this, I would make sure it was absolutely perfect, but I don't do that anymore. And if you don't have graph paper, just use regular paper, and then you can, like, you know, use a ruler like this to figure out the best placement. I hope this makes sense if you didn't already know how to do this. And then down here, I'm just gonna do the same thing. So these are the places that we're gonna punch holes into the spine. of our book. But then I'm going to use the same exact template to punch the holes into our signatures as well. But let's go ahead and punch the holes into the cover first. I'm going to bring you back out a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of washi tape just to show you that you can kind of lightly tape this into place. Just try to even make sure this is on here good so that nothing moves around. I never do this tape thing, but again, if I were doing it for the first time or if I was newer, I would definitely suggest doing that. And then now you're just gonna punch the holes wherever these holes are. Also, a good tip, if you have an old book, you can just punch right on top of it so that your awl or whatever you're punching with doesn't punch into your fingers. In fact, I'll do that, but I don't normally. I just normally pray to Jesus that I don't punch a hole into my hand, and I usually do, actually. But I'm still here. So, you know, whatever. Okay, I'm just going to take this old book here. You can do it onto the pages or whatever. I'm just going to... So this is kind of hard for me to do at this angle, but basically I'm going to try my best. I guess I'm still just about punching into my hand because I'm not even doing what I just told you to do, but I'm just going to go punch these holes. I know it looks like my fingers are gonna, yep. This is actually kind of a harder cover. There we go. This is the hardest part for you. This, I mean, I can see why, because especially, okay, now, see, it's hard for me too. And then especially like, my mom was making journals for a while, and I mean, she doesn't have the most strength in her hands, but then also like, this could be hard if you have anything, I don't know what I'm trying to think of, like carpal tunnel or like anything like that. But, okay, and we'll go down here and do the same thing. The middle one's easier, but for some reason the top, because I'm also trying not to bend the cover too much, but if I do, it's okay. See, this is so much easier. It's just those ones towards the end, definitely a little hard. So hopefully you can see that I struggle with things too, and that's just how it goes. And I just saw someone have an idea or a suggestion to put styrofoam underneath, and that's a great idea. Yeah, I used to have an old book that I would do this on, and it didn't have the hardcover, so it was just the pages, and you could just punch right down into it kind of thing, but... Okay. Once you get going, though, it's not too bad. Okay, there we go. So we have those holes ready. Okay, I'm going to move this to the side now. Now I'm just going to start. Now, since this is coffee dyed paper and there's no obvious top or bottom, here's the part that you don't want to mess up, because if you punch the holes, even though these are evenly spaced, so even if we flipped it, technically we should be okay, but maybe not exactly, because the top and the bottom, I just eyeballed it. If you measured yours out correctly, then you might be fine. But all I'm trying to say is try to do this all in one step and just keep your pile top, bottom, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Now, this part, if this helps you, what you can do is take some paper clips. I just have some, and you can hold the pages together like this. But since these pages are not decorated. There's no dimension, anything like that. I probably am not going to do that to all of these, but I would suggest doing this if you are newer. Let's see here. Madeline says, I tape an old thick bubble mailers together and poke holes. Oh, that's such a good idea too. Hi, Christine. You're new to the channel. Interested to see how one makes a journal. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here. And since we're on a live, like, this probably isn't the best way to see because I'm just doing parts and pieces and doing it on a live too. Like, well, you're seeing the real deal. You see how I do it like in real life, but I have better tutorials on my channel. That's what I'm trying to say. So now I'm going to use this same template. I fold it in half, put it, you know, in my pages here, and I'm just going to poke the holes exactly where they would be. Let me just, actually, I'll just show you. Since I didn't already have one poked in the middle, these are the spots that I'm going to be poking holes so you can see that a little bit better. Okay. You guys all have a lot of good ideas for this though. But for this part, I personally just poke. It's a little easier. I just move around too much to have stuff underneath me, but also what I like to do to make sure that the hole goes through the exact center, this is what I do a lot of times, is I'll put my awl where I'm gonna poke, and I'm kind of keeping my pages into a V. I mean, they make tools for this as well to keep everything exactly where it needs to be, but I just hold it like this, and then I'm kind of pushing in so that it will go directly into the center. I hope that makes sense. But now I'm going to breeze through the rest of these. And remember, oh, did I just flip that around? See? Okay, no, that is the top. So now I'm going to make sure so that I know this is the top. I'm just going to place these over here and start stacking them and keeping them. This is easier if you have like scrapbook paper that you're working with, because you would know what the top is a little bit easier. But anyways, so now, so yeah, we have 6 signatures we got to get through. So I'm just gonna finish these up. I have some more filming that I need to do today before my kids get home, so that's why I wanted to get this done, but I knew I had to do it quickly. So I know I might go off camera here a bit while I'm doing this because I am trying to do this part quickly just because it's repetitive. I think you guys get the point. You can see that I'm not actually using paper clips for these. But again, if you're making this for someone else or it's your first time, I highly suggest using some paper clips to hold everything together nicely. But I've done it enough that I kind of just can wing it a little. And it's not always perfect, but that's the thing, is I'm not trying to make this perfect. I'm trying to do my best. Yeah, this coffee dyed paper that my son made turned out so cool. Just like, I don't know, it's so great. And it's funny because I showed him how to do it, and then he started doing it, and he did it differently than me. And I was like, no, buddy. I was like, you gotta do it this way. And he's like, yeah, that doesn't feel right to me. He goes, I think I'll just do it this way. Whatever. I don't remember exactly what I'm talking about, or I don't remember what he was doing differently, but that doesn't matter. And so I was standing there and I kept wanting to go in and help him. I mean, he's 11, so, you know. But then I was like, I think my daughter needed me, so I left. And I said, okay, well, you just keep doing it. And when I came back, he had so much done. And he did it all differently than me. He laid them out all differently than me. And I just thought it was really cool that he was confident enough to be like, no, this is how I want to do it, Mom. Like, just let me do it kind of thing. And it turned out awesome. And so I made sure to tell him when they were done. I've been talking about it all week. I just said, I'm so proud of you for going with what you wanted to do. I was like, these pages turned out better than my coffee dyed papers do. He's like, so he goes, oh, Mom, he goes, so maybe my technique was better. And I was like, I definitely think I'm going to be asking you to help me make coffee dyed paper from now on. Okay, so I don't need this template anymore. Sometimes I'll keep these and reuse them, but you know, every journal is a different size usually for me. So now I'm going to grab my binding thread. And again, I'm just doing a simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch here. I have a lot more cool binding techniques like tutorials on my channel. If you want to learn different ways, you can do like a hidden binding where you won't actually see the binding thread on the outside. You can do like a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. You can do different, what else? Sometimes I'll add beads to the outside or buttons. But okay, so I'm gonna measure this like 2.5 times the length of the spine journal. And then I'm just gonna cut that, and I'm going to cut out 6 of that. What am I trying to say? I'm gonna cut out, oh boy, there it goes. I'm gonna cut out 6 of these, 1 for each signature. So I'm just using this quickly to measure that out. Then I'll just have it all ready for me. So I know you can't exactly see what I'm doing here again, but just measuring out the thread. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 6. And my spool of thread is rolling around on the ground here. Okay, if you're wondering, for a needle, I usually just use a basic needle that has, it's kind of longer. They make special needles for this, but I just like to use a regular needle. It's kind of long. It has a big enough eye. Whoops, that's not going to focus, huh? Big enough eye or hole on the needle that I can fit the type of binding thread that I like to use. I do like to use a waxed linen thread. I get it on Amazon usually, but you can really use whatever you want. You can, sometimes I'll even use, it's not embossing thread, but what's that called? Like you can just use whatever you want. Hi, I missed a couple of you guys. And Leanne, I was making some polymer clay beads that were white. Oh, that's cool, kind of. It landed in your tea, and then you were left with coffee dyed bead. Okay, now I'm going to start by taking these signatures and sewing into the last one first. And I'll do this first one slow, but I think most of you probably know how to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And if not, don't worry. I mean, I got better tutorials that I can show you, but I'm going to start with the center, and then I'm just going to be sewing into the coordinating hole to the outside. This is a little hard for me to do just in this view because I usually move this around a lot. I leave a bit of a tail on the inside, and again, if you're new, you can take a little piece of tape and tape this down so that you don't actually pull it all the way through, but I don't do that because I've done it enough. It's fine. Sometimes I do pull it through though, but whatever. Then I'm going to sew, and you can see these holes don't look perfect, but once we get everything sewn in, it's fine. And this cardstock that he chose was pretty thick. Okay, I am now going to sew into the top hole and find the top hole of my signature, and this is just going to happen. It can take a minute to line these things up, but just work with it. Take your time. it's fine that everything's not tightly moved, or whoops, it's fine that everything's not tight in here quite yet. There we go. And then you want to pull that all the way through. Of course, make sure that you don't pull it too tight to where you take this out. And then you just go down to the bottom, out. Just make sure you're sewing out of the correct hole. And then on this side, you're going to go back into the center. And this can be a little tricky because now things are tightened up a bit, and you want to go in, but then also get into the signature hole. Now, what I usually do is I'll kind of close my signature a bit so that I can see. Sometimes it'll just go right in where you need it to, but most of the time it doesn't. So you're gonna have to work with it for a minute. And sometimes you'll accidentally poke through right next to the hole and not in the hole. And that's, I mean, it's just bound to happen. Like, it's fine. Hi, Susan, how are you? Now you're just gonna pull and make sure that everything's tightened up. Now, if you'll notice, I have one of the ends on this side of the middle lane and one on this side, so that when we tie it, we're kind of tying over that center line. Okay, so then you just tie it off here and you're good to go. And then I usually trim the strings. I just leave a little bit. It doesn't matter to me, but do whatever you want, you know. Then you're just going to continue that on and continue sewing in your signature. So I'm going to keep doing that, but I'm going to do it a little quicker this time. And I might be out of camera view just because I do need to get this done, but I'll be here. And if you wanted to see anything specific, or if you have any questions, I will be looking at the screen as much as I can. But I'm just gonna do this. And so see, a lot of times I take this and like hold it to my body while I'm doing it, because it's just easier to see what I need to see. And it can take a minute to get everything lined up. And good morning if you're just hopping on. I'm just finishing up this journal for my son. Oops, and see, sometimes, yep, I almost pulled that all the way through, but I didn't. And sometimes I do, and then I just have to redo it all over again. But, oh, and then that came right through there. I always feel lucky if I get the needle in lined up like perfectly the first try, because that doesn't normally happen. And then I gotta make sure that one of these strings is on this side. And I always make sure before I tie this off that it feels tight, but sometimes it can get caught on like a corner or something else, and then so it's tight, but it's not actually good to go. So I make sure, and then I'll go ahead and tie that off. So are there any of you, I know a lot of you that are in here have done this many times, but are any of you just getting ready to maybe make your first journal and you haven't done this before, or even just have you never done this before and you're wanting to, or you're considering? Just curious. Okay, we have 4 more signatures to sew in here. So, just finished binding my spring journal. Oh, fun. Never done this before. Are you hoping to make a journal anytime soon, or do you, some people I know just kind of like the journaling, like, you know, you can buy a journal already made. I know some people just like to do like creative journaling, and that's fine too. So Danielle, never done this before. And hi, Danielle. Oh, I know what you meant. Yeah, it is fun. I love doing the lives. I'm glad that you enjoy it too, Linda. And sorry, I gotta bring it to my eyes again. I mean, so that's why if I'm gonna film a good tutorial to actually teach you something, a lot of times I wouldn't show, I edit out quite a bit, like, or I'll take a really long time to try to get it zoomed in just exactly where it needs to be. And it takes a long time to do those kind of videos. Because there's a lot of in-between things. But that's why I also think that the lives are nice. Even though this isn't, I wouldn't think this is the best way to learn. But I think it's a good way for you to see that I struggle with lots of parts of it. And a lot of it takes tons of time still. And I mess up, Okay, so we're halfway there. I think this is gonna turn out really, really cute. And like I said, this journal needs some closures, and he might want to have me help him do some other things, but I think I'm just gonna do this part, and and I will wait and see what else he wants to do to it before I do anything else. So, in through the center. Ooh, metal corners, good call. Metal corners would look so good on this journal. I think I kind of want to just do that. I think he would like it. Now, I did think about putting a charm thing, what do you call it, ring fastener. I did think about that, and I would typically do that before the binding because I would want to know where it's going to go and all of that. But if that's something he wants, I could still put it at the very top, a small one, if I have a small one. I think I do. I like the idea of metal corners, Madeline. Good call. Also, I'm surprised I didn't send you any photos this weekend, Madeline. Because sometimes I do that. Okay. We're almost there. Maybe I'll grab out some middle corners and see if I want to do that. I'm pretty sure he would be in it. I know, right? I think that's what that means. Yeah, there's plenty of times when I accidentally get a little too needle happy and will poke this through, but it doesn't go through the designated holes. It creates a new one next to it. And that's annoying, but you know what? That happens. And so when that happens, it depends. If the hole was like ½ inch over, I'll take it back out and then re-sew it into the middle hole. But if it's right next to it, it's just gonna split open and make a bigger hole. So I just keep it. And I've never had an issue. Just keep going with it. Like your pages are still not gonna fall out. I mean, of course you can notice it. You'll see a bigger hole, but honestly, no one, literally no one's gonna care. You can cover it if you needed to with something, or I don't know. Uh-oh. See, I almost pulled this through. Uh-oh. Almost pulled that through. Okay. I know the screen froze for a minute. And oh gosh, I have Happy Mail that I wanted to share with you guys, but I don't think I have time right now. So we'll save that maybe for tomorrow. Because I got some good mail. Gosh dang it, I can't get this. See, I can't get this one. There we go. And that tail is about to come through. Which that's frustrating when you're like at the end and then it gets pulled through. But anyways, yeah, I got some Happy Mail. Whoops. one of my Patreon members sent me a whole case of glue, and I seriously almost cried because it's just so sweet and thoughtful. And I'm working on a journal collection right now, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little broke. So buying extra supplies and things like that, when I say I'm broke, I feel like I said that to a friend and they thought like I was like, I just have to be careful with money. Who doesn't, right? Who doesn't? But I haven't always had to closely budget things, and so it takes some getting used to. So that was so nice and thoughtful and just came at the right time. And I think it was Stephanie who bought that for me. So thank you, Stephanie. Hopefully, I know it's so sweet, but so many of you are so sweet. But I have a few items of happy mail. So I'll probably come on a live tomorrow, hopefully. Yeah, it's so sweet. It's just really a whole case, like, because I go through that glue quite a bit. Okay, so now I'm just gonna do the last one here. I feel like when you're on the internet too, if you say something like that, like, oh, I'm broke, or even if I just said like, yeah, I'm just having to budget more closely, there's some people, because I was almost not going to say that, but there's some people that would be like, oh, if you're so broke, why are you getting tattoos? Why are you spending money on this and that? But it's like, you don't know my whole story. You don't know if I paid for this tattoo. You don't know. But luckily, I don't actually care, or I don't have to ever worry about stuff like that on my channel. But a lot of YouTube channels, people have to care. Luckily, I think the crafting genre on YouTube is one that literally everyone is so nice. I mean, of course, every now and again, you're going to get like a weird comment. But other than that, like, I think a lot of people say this, but this is probably one of the nicest communities on YouTube. Definitely. Like, we all help each other out. A lot of us who watch each other have our own channels, and, you know, we'll help each other out, like, for real. We'll do collabs with each other, not to just get more followers, but because it's fun, you know. Anyways, I'm going to tie off this last one here. And then if I had paper clips on the other signatures, now I would go ahead and take those off. And real quick, I'm going to put everything back. And I have this little thing here that I keep all of my stuff in. And I couldn't find it today, actually, right before I did the live. I'm going to grab some metal corners real quick because I want to see what that will look like. Such a good call. Okay, let's see here. And yeah, this is definitely, for a bit, this is going to just be an alligator mouth where it opens up. But that's why I think it'll be good to have a tie. He asked if we could have it be locking somehow. And I did have a few ideas, actually, but he seemed okay with just having something tied around it. But I do have, actually, these. Hello, if you're just hopping on. And I thought this would look really cool. Where's the other piece? Let's see here. But he wasn't too into it. Yeah, you would have like this right here. No, you would have this like right here. And then you have like a flap that comes around. And then that's how you shut it. You know what I mean? I think that would look cool, but he didn't want that. So that's fine. I would have if I was making this like for someone. Anyways, I think for his journal, I feel like the small ones are going to look the best. Let's see. Yeah. I think he's going to like that. So I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to grab those out real quick and I'll set them. Find two more. Oh my gosh. I just heard my dog and cat fight. They're fighting. Okay. These are really simple to put on. let's see here. My praying mantis is so cute. She's just over here chilling, and she is so big. Okay. I'm just gonna add a touch of glue. Don't really have to do this, I just always do. And then these ones just slide on because they're really the perfect size for a smaller journal. I get these from Amazon for much less than like at Joann's or something like that. And then you can probably squeeze these with your hands, but maybe I can actually. Sorry. I want to make sure that they're pinched on there real good. If you do this with pliers, you do want to be careful that you're not squeezing too hard where you like deform. What am I trying to say? Anyways, you could put some kind of fabric down and then use it, because sometimes if you do it too hard, you'll make marks into the metal on the front, if that makes sense. But okay, and I'll just put 2 on the back here. I think that will look good. And I am so excited that I will finally have this done, because it's been like a couple weeks where my son, like, I'll say, buddy, after school today, we'll finish your journal. And then it's like bedtime and he goes, oh, Mom, he goes, my journal. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm like, Arlo needed me. And then it was dinner time and all this stuff. Like, there's just always something. So I wanted to, it was important for me to get this done for him this weekend, so that when he came home, he knew that I was thinking about him. There we go, guys. I'm so glad that you mentioned the metal corners. That really turned out so good. Bring the light over a bit more. And then this is what this looks like. Also, if it bothers you, like that you punched the holes and they're a little too big, you can kind of like go around. My cat's trying to come in. You can kind of like push the paper back over it, if that makes sense. You can cover this with lace. You can cover it with whatever. The look doesn't bother me, but I will say when I first started, it did bother me. I would be like, oh gosh, it looks so messy. But I've realized after making hundreds of journals that I'm not going to be staring at the spine, so it just doesn't matter. But if it does look pretty awful, then that's when I will cover it with some lace or something like that. But it just doesn't bother me enough to care. Yeah, I'm wondering what kind of closure he'll want, but again, I'm gonna wait for that because we'll see. Yay, this looks so cool. Now, this makes me want to make a journal for myself with just coffee dyed paper, because it just looks like a little mini book. Like, not a book, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. I love it. So guys, that's all. That's all I got for you today. I gotta finish other filming and stuff like that. Sorry. So there real quick. There we go. Yeah. Did you guys have any other questions about, I'm trying to get this set up. Did you have any other questions about the binding or anything like that? I'll just use this time to fix my hair. Let me know real quick before I go. Here I go again. Trying to think if there's anything else fun that I want to show you. I do like hanging out. I'm like thinking maybe I could just open this mail with you guys right now. See, I get so sidetracked in here. I mean, that's just how that goes. Maybe I should. No, maybe we should go over this tomorrow. Anywho. Yeah, because I got something from Jade, which is one of my Patreon members, and she usually sends really fun things. So we might want to look at that tomorrow. Has anyone received, if you're a Patreon member, I'm curious if anyone has received your February mail yet? thank you. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. Thanks, Megan and Tanya. Oh, hi, Tanya. It looks like you just hopped on. There will be a replay. So if you want to watch the replay, that will be up soon. But yeah, what do you guys got going on for today? Oh, and thank you to oh no mail today. You're right. Gosh, what the heck? Why can't I think of her name that bought me chargers? She's one of my Patreon members. She's on here all the time. It's not Lisa. Who the heck? I know her name. Anyways. One of my Patreon members also sent me 2 chargers, and they're super long. So I can actually plug my phone in when I'm filming. And that was so nice too. What the heck? People are too nice. You guys are too nice. Ew. I'm just kidding. You got your Patreon mail the February, Karen? Good. I'm glad. For some people it comes really quick. I guess it depends where you're at. But sometimes it comes, yeah, right away. Sometimes it doesn't, but okay. Well, I'm procrastinating here because I need to get back to real filming, and it's just a lot. I have a lot that I need to do, but nothing bad. So, okay, guys, I'm gonna let you go. I had fun hanging out. Ooh, we've been here an hour. You're in Washington. That makes sense. I was gonna say, I wondered if you're in California, Washington. That makes sense. So, good. I'm glad. Okay, guys, have a lovely day. I'll probably see you on a live tomorrow around this time. So I'll